When I was growing up, I'm from Kogi State, and I come from a very rural part of Kogi State. People have often tell me that when you think of the Igalas, you think of these people
those people that eat gala.
No, in fact, you're kind, because most people, when I was growing up, they will tell you, oh, your people are always in the lower rung of the society. They are either pump attendants, or they are in the police, or they are in all of that. So, and I quickly tell them, with much sense of humility, I'm one of those who got away. Because I remember when I was growing up, there was no hope of a girl child receiving education at that time. And I remember then, like my mother of blessed memory, her highest qualification was a primary 7. For whatever at that time, there seemed not to be much encouragement for women. And I know the Igala women, my mother being one of them, is one of these very hardworking person. How did I get away? My mother's dream was to be a nurse. Circumstances and life conspired against her, and her dreams did not come to pass. But she did something which set for me a model of what every woman should be. My mother devoted her life to me. And so she told me things she never told people. You know, it's like every daughter is the aspiration and the hope of her mother. In my own case, it was true. So there's this woman who tells you you have to break every barrier. There's this woman who told you, I wish I had been this, but you have to go beyond what I would have been. So when even her peers were telling her, you can imagine the crazy thing I heard those days. I heard somebody tell my mother, if you allow her to go to school, she will be too intelligent, she won't get a husband. I mean, of all things to tell a woman. And then you are saying that to, and I remember what she would answer them. She would tell them and said, in the hospital where she works, she was a medical records clerk at one point in her life. And then she said in that hospital, she sees female doctors. And then she sees nurses and a whole lot of all that she also would have wanted to have been a nurse. And then she said, if she wants to go to school, let her be. Like she told me before she died, I was the fulfillment of her dreams. And then, so I think that sense of humility had kept me that there was nothing special about me. But the fact that a woman practically lived her life wanting to at least nurture one. And I remember my very earliest memory of her. And then is of a woman who you wake up sometime in the middle of the night or very early in the morning, and there's this woman kneeling by your bed, and all she's praying is, my daughter's life will be different from mine. She will get this. So I think with every sense of responsibility, and I carried that with a lot of burden, would be you are the aspiration of the dream of somebody. And I think one of the fulfilling things in my life was before the time she passed about 7 years ago, was she telling me, you are everything I wanted to be. And then she told me, she said, I am fulfilled. So I think that for me, it's what sets the tone for the rest of my life. She took time to drill me in humility. And then she taught me respect. You know, we live in a society today where it's easy to piss off everybody and look down on them. But my mother raised me up with this consciousness that every child has this measure of respect. And that wherever you meet in people, and like I told somebody the other day, she taught me to tie 2 wrappers when I was less than 10 years old. And then, like I tell somebody, I told my daughter when she was getting to cook, I said, I said, you know, before I was 10, I had to stand on a gas cooker. And then I had to reach to a pot to turn food for over 10 people. And then, even though it came out, all my semo came out with all the lumps and all of that, my mother was excited because she has a daughter who could make that, you know. So I said, those were values. So you could see the kind of values and retention I have.